we manage cash flow the right way as a startup? Look, this is probably one of the most important things you could do if you're launching a business, because the majority of startups fail because they improperly manage the cash flow. They don't manage their cash flow sometimes at all, and that's what causes the business failure. We want you to succeed, and the key to success is understanding cash flow, understanding how to properly manage it, especially as a startup business, and this is what's going to help you create reserves, create profits, and then use that to grow an exponentially fast-growing business that makes you hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. It all comes down to proper startup cash flow management. We've got a lot to cover, so let's dive in. So the first step of managing your cash flow properly as a startup is that you need to start budgeting. I know, I said the B word. I did it. Look, I understand as a consumer that might not be your favorite thing to do, but as a business, we have to do it. And the reason we have to do it is because a business will eat up every cent of cash you give it to eat up, meaning all the money that's available, the business will eat up, and you'll get caught in this trap of saying that the business isn't profitable because you keep reinvesting all of your money. Well, look, nobody's really should be reinvesting all of their money into the growth of the business. The purpose of a business is to be profitable. And that means to put money in your pocket as well as use those profits for growth of the business. But in order to do this, we have to have money left over in order to actually put in our pocket and also to be able to rededicate to the growth of the business. This is why budgeting is so essential. You need to come through and have a very good idea of what your income is. You need to be mapping out your expenses. You need to be talking about which expenses are crucial, cannot be cut, which ones are nice to have, but things you could cut if needed, and things that are absolutely non-essential, which are the first things to cut if you need to cut them. This helps you keep an eye on the money coming in the business and going out your cash flow, and therefore make sure that you can lower expenses in accordance with your revenue to make sure you always have money left over. Now, the other thing you want to do in regards to budgeting is to create a secondary profit account, like a bank account that just is where you put your profit. So you're peeling off the money right from the beginning, you're putting it in a secondary account, then you pay your expenses. Now, this concept comes from a very well-known book called Profit First. I highly recommend that you read it. And what Profit First says is, look, the business is going to eat up all the money if you let it. So you need to decide what your profit margin is going to be, i.e. what percentage of what you're collecting you want to actually keep as profit. Then you need to peel that money off right in the beginning and put it in a secondary account, then manage the business from what's left. Now, if you do this, it gives you an easier way to be able to budget, manage your expenses, and almost a near guaranteed way to start setting money aside for profit, which again can come to you as distributions from your business and also be reinvested for faster business growth. Next tip to manage cash flow as a startup is that you need to be monitoring your cash flow. So there's a lot of monitoring you want to do as a business owner. First of all, you want to be monitoring your Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian business credit reports. This tells you if people are putting inquiries on your credit report, looking into giving you money, and it also gives you an idea of what's reporting on your business credit reports and it also gives you a good idea of what's being reported on your business and your ability to actually use those credit reports to get funding. But the other kind of monitoring you want to do is of your actual expenses. So there's all kinds of business credit cards out there like Ramp that are available and services where it's easy for you to manage the expenses of the business. There's apps like QuickBooks, for example, and QuickBooks even integrates in with places like Ramp where you can have a credit card for your business. You can have credit cards for each one of the users of your business as well. You can easily manage what your spending is, their spending is. You can get cash back and rewards on these, and you can keep an eye on your overall expenses, which makes it easier to actually manage them. So look, one of the essential parts of managing cash flow is to monitor cash flow. And any of these tools out there, a lot of which report to the Business Credit Reporting Agency, help you do so. So QuickBooks, for example, makes it very easy for me to just take a quick picture of a receipt, and it actually uploads right to my accounting software, my accounting team, without having to actually get a paper receipt, put it in my pocket, and scan in all the things we have to do in the past. So make sure you're properly monitoring your cash flow as well, because that's just as important as anything else with making sure you have good, proper cash flow management. And the third and probably most important aspect of cash flow management is to have cash reserves. Now, you know, if you're launching a business that you pretty much are taking almost everything you're making and putting it back into the business, right? But the key to having reserves is to stop spending your cash on all the things you need to spend to be able to run the business. Here's what I mean by that. You can easily build a business credit profile and score right from the beginning of your business. And this will give you credit cards that will almost every major retailer, for example. So let's say you're in an office setting. Well, then you can get credit with Sam's Club or Costco or Staples, Office Depot. HP, Dell, Apple, most of the things you would need to manage your business or launch the business, you can use business credit to buy. Now, let's say you're a contractor. Well, then you can get credit at Home Depot and Lowe's or Floors and Decor, Labor Ready. So no matter what industry you're in, you can get credit to offset your actual need to spend your cash to buy the things that you're trying to buy. So this is what business credit is best used for, especially as a startup business. And 90% of whatever you need to buy for the business credit can buy. So by getting business credit, you're able to start using business credit cards to pay your expenses instead of the cash. Then you can strategically determine when you use the cash to pay off the actual credit cards. You could pay off the credit cards before interest accrues, or you can actually pay off the credit cards as more money is coming in to do so. So for example, you may choose to use a credit card to launch a Facebook ads campaign, knowing it takes you 2 months to make sales and create a profit from that actual ad spend. So you could use a credit card to actually run the ads, wait 2 months to get the profit, and then use the money from the profits to pay off the credit card. Look, there's so much flexibility when you build business credit. And by the way, this is how every one of the largest companies in this country has grown to be as big as they are. So for example, Walmart, that's the #1 retailer in the world, 80% of what they're actually buying, they're using business credit to actually buy. So they're using business credit to buy all the stuff they put on their shelves. They're saving their cash to use to get more stores, to expand, right? Apple does the same thing. They use business credit to buy everything they can so they can use their cash to create more retail locations and research and develop as well. It's why they're rolling out so many new products, because they're strategically using cash for things they need to use cash for and using credit for things they can use credit for. So just by building business credit, you're able to create cash reserves, which is one of the essential aspects of being able to properly manage your cash flow. So there you have it. There's my 3 best tips for cash flow management. Keep in mind, you can have the best concept or idea of all times, and the business could still fail if you don't properly manage cash flow. That's why cash flow management is so important. And if you'd like more help along the way of building business credit, getting loans and credit lines, and getting an unlimited supply of business credit cards to fund your business, make sure you get with us by going to creditsuite.com/consult. And just by going there, you can meet with our team. We'll talk about the things you need to do to make your business more fundable, tips and tactics to build your business credit, and we'll talk to you about all the loans and credit lines you can qualify for right now. It all happens at creditsuite.com/consult. And if you got value from this training, make sure you like and subscribe, and keep your eye out for that next training. We're talking about more cool ways to get the money you need to start and grow your business.